Sorry about that. So again, I would like to introduce Debbie Johnson from Western Connecticut State University. She teaches labs there. She's been doing that for about 20 years. So the resident expert here for labs. Debbie's going to talk to you a little bit about how she does her muscles lab. And then I'm also joined by our education team lead, Emily Genoway. So we'll take questions via the raised hand feature and the chat and Q&A as they come in. But for now, I will go ahead and turn it over to you, Debbie.
Okay, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And so give me 1 second to bring it up. Okay, let me bring it up this way. From beginning. From beginning. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about using it, using visible body for muscles. We use it for many other labs, but just muscles today. Okay, as she said, I'm Debbie Johnson. I've taught at Western Connecticut State University for about 20 years. I teach anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 labs for undergrads. I'm the lab coordinator. It's a fancy word that basically we have about 250 to 300 undergrads in the course each fall. We have 3 huge lectures, and then they get broken down into about 12 lab sections, sometimes more or less, about 20 students per lab. We try to keep all the labs as similar as possible, since most of our students want to become nurses. Now, some want to become other things, but a lot of our students want to be nurses, and they're fighting to get into the nursing department, which our nursing department only accepts 75 students a year. So you can imagine how competitive it is for them. So we don't want one section to get something that the other doesn't. So as lab coordinator, it's my responsibility to come up with the PowerPoints, worksheets, and other materials that we use. We started using visible body, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not 100% sure when. At first, I knew I loved the program, but I had no idea how to use it and how I was going to use it. So here's how we use it for muscles. We break muscles into 3 lab periods. The first being just body muscles, the second being the arm and shoulder, and the last being the leg and hip. During the first muscles lab on body muscles, we talk and insertions and why they're important. We're actually thinking of condensing it into 2 labs instead of 3, since this has worked out so well with visible body. Our concern is that doing 25 to 35 muscles in 1 week might be too many for our students. But overall, our students' quiz and exam scores have increased since we started using the visible body this way. Okay, this page is a excuse me, a copy of the worksheet that we use, and we have the students fill out. We don't have them know every insertion and origin, but they need to know some. Some pages have more that they need to know. This one only has the 1. This one is obviously a leg muscle one. You can do the activity. If you notice, it says leg model. We have these leg models. We also have body models and arm models of the muscles. But you can do the activity without it. It's up to you if you use it or not. At the end of the talk, you can see all of the charts that we use, but they're all basically this page, just different muscles. Okay. So the students come in, and there's a PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint has the muscles they're responsible for this week. The first page of it, which I didn't give you, is just a list of the muscles. And then the second, third, fourth, however many pages I need, you see all these pictures. So it gives the students an idea of the location of muscle. Okay, I'm gonna have to flip because I have a video now. So I have to flip. Oops. Stop. Uh-oh, I'm having technical difficulties. Stop share. Okay, now I have to reshare.
Yeah, you may have to stop sharing the one and then reshare the
Yeah,
other.
reshare the other one, sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
here's the video.
yeah.
Okay, so students come in, and once they're ready, after we go through the PowerPoint a little bit, they sign on. We have laptops for them, or they can use their own. It's up to them. They usually work in groups of 2. Of course, now with Corona, I don't know how that will end up changing. That's a whole another thing we're working on. But they go to Visible Body, and they open up Atlas, scroll down to the muscles, and they scroll to today to the hip muscle. Then they highlight the muscle they're looking for. In this case, I just picked sartorius. I don't know why, we just did. See it on both the left and the right side. Look around, see what's close to it. Go to the little book that pops up, and then they see the origin, the insertion, the action. They can fill in that chart that was shown earlier. They can hide the other muscles and see the one they're interested, use the pins to find the origin and insertions and see where they are. We don't talk about blood or nerve supplies at this point in the class, but of course you could. By clicking around, they can refresh their memory about the bones involved, and just really check it out, see it, know where it is. And then eventually, oh, I'm too fast for the video, sorry. Yeah, they click on it so they can hear the correct pronunciation. And then they watch the video to see the action and see how that muscle moves and interacts with the surrounding muscles. And then the students fill out the entire chart. Okay, once again, I'm going to flip back to the other. Sorry, this is choppy. And go to where I want to be. Okay. Lastly, when the students are finished, we play a game. Before labs start in the fall, I take ping pong balls, and they're numbered 1 to 24 because the most we're ever going to have in a lab is 24 students. Each seat in the lab is numbered 1 to 24. Students learn their number really quickly at the beginning of the semester. And we use the ping pong balls to call on the students to answer questions. This way, you can't look, and if you go in order across the classroom, you know, students always go, okay, I'm the 4th person, so I'm gonna get the 4th muscle. And then they'll know their answer. This way, they have no idea, because I just grab a ping pong ball, whatever number it is, that's the student who has to answer. And they tell and they also demonstrate the action. We don't grade on this, and it usually ends up we're all in hysterics laughing. So then as a class, we simplify the action so it's more what they would really know. It allows me to walk, or it allows me to sit cross-legged, or something that makes more sense to the students than some of them do. And we also simplify origins and insertions to only 1 or 2 bone parts that we've made sure to do in bones before. As for the comment area of the worksheet, the students just write their own comments. They write anything. It could be about the location, the size of the muscle, the shape, whatever helps them. And that's what I have today. So if you have any questions or comments, but first of all, thank you for your time. And if I can help, I'd be happy to help. So I'll stop sharing and we can go to questions. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So, and we're going to share Debbie's worksheet later. We have that to send out. Actually, someone's asking if you could share that worksheet again. Actually, if you want to pull it up on your screen just to kind of show it to other people to see.
Okay, just a second.
And then, yeah, we've got some questions coming in. Sarah is asking if you're just using the Atlas app or if you're using Muscle Premium as well.
They use both. They flip-flop back and forth. It kind of depends on the student pair.
Okay. Eric, I'm gonna unmute you and allow you to ask your question since you raised your hand. So you should be unmuted now, Eric. You may have to unmute yourself.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks. Thanks very much for the information. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the features that you can use with Visible Body to kind of provide activities or interactive activities in class for the students?
Just muscles or other?
I guess in this context, just muscles.
They like the premium because it shows them what the muscle's doing. I don't know if you've read it. It's very technical, and I'm teaching undergrads, they don't really understand abduction, adduction, circumflexion, etc. So
Okay.
when they see it, they get it.
Right.
Debbie, I'm happy to demo it. If you want to stop sharing, I can share my screen and show everybody where it is in the program. And you can feel free to explain too, Debbie, as I talk.
Actually, we had another question while this came in. Debbie, do you ever use any of the augmented reality apps or labs with your students?
We haven't yet, and I was hoping to play around this summer, but because of Corona, we're doing summer school online, and I'm busy changing all my Part A and P1, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to play with it before. I was hoping to really start using it in the fall. Unfortunately, no.
And I'm happy to show the AR as well, if anyone's interested. But, you know, these are the two apps that are within our courseware platform. So Debbie has their students buy a subscription to Visible Body courseware where, you know, you can create a whole course with assignments. Here's just an example here. You can put your school logo and really personalize it. We have a lot of, we have well over 100 of textbook correlated courses that you can choose from. And then the assignments are all in here, directing the students to exactly where you want them to go in the apps.
I have pulled out and made mine. I go to all 4 of the programs and I pull out and put them in we call them chapters. I don't know what we're supposed to call them, that go along with each lab.
Yes. Yeah, so this is, for example, this is one of the assignments, right? And then you could click in here and it's going to open Atlas to the 3D model that you want to send your students to study.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then you'll see this looks very familiar to what Debbie was showing. This is the model, and she had tags on as well. You can add tags. You can make these tags blank just by going to settings. You know, if you wanted to use this as a little quiz or an exercise to get the students working in class. So lots of things you can do.
We're getting some people that are actually requesting to see the AR, Emily.
So all right.
Started and
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will set up my iPad. Hang on, give me just a minute.
Yeah. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and take some additional questions. So it looks like a lot of you are asking to see the AR. So can we modify charts and things that are available in visible bodies? So you can modify the exercise to, you know, as to what you want the students to find, but you can't like modify the app itself, but you can kind of navigate, you know, like you can kind of tell the students what they need to look for. Is that, I think that's what you're asking. Debbie, if you have any feedback here too, you can always weigh in.
I go to anatomy and physiology, the one that's more like the textbook, and I just pull out the sections I want them to know. We really split where I teach between lab and lecture, so we don't overlap all the time. So if it's a lecture portion, I don't pull it out, but that's us.
Okay, Emily, if you're still getting set up, I'm gonna take a couple more questions.
I'm just getting the lab activities, so I'll be ready in like 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and Tara, I'm gonna unmute you so you can go ahead and answer your question or ask your question really quick, hopefully.
I was wondering if you might be able to demonstrate how to, I think annotate is what it's called, the muscles in the visible body atlas.
Emily, is that?
Sure, I can show you. So I'm gonna share my screen again, bring up my iPad. All right, so you see my iPad?
Yes.
And the question was, how do you annotate a muscle? So you can see here, just real quick, the user experience is exactly the same between the web version, which is where I was earlier, and the iPad version. So here we go. Let's look at this muscle of the shoulder. So you can annotate this right down here at the bottom. There's an annotate button, and I can draw. And full disclosure, I am not good at very good at the 3D draw tool, but you can basically like pick your plane and then draw on the model. Oops, I'm gonna start drawing. So you can pick a color up here, blue, and annotate this way. That's whatever you wanted to draw. You can also, what I was doing earlier was adding tags. So you can use this as a lecture tool, and you can see those are terrible drawings, like I said earlier, that the annotations will move with the model, which is great. Cool. So if you're showing something like blood flow through the heart, you can illustrate that and then rotate the model, and your annotations will go with the model.
And it gets easier the more you do it.
Yes, absolutely.
My drawings get a little better each semester.
If you were doing blood flow through the heart, you would annotate it by like labeling chambers?
You could. Yeah, you can do whatever you want
on it, because like it looks like the drawings don't move with the models, but the annotation.
They do. I just did it badly.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. It's me. They definitely do. So you draw in planes, and we can definitely send you a nice tutorial video on how to do it. It's not that hard. You could do it that way, but we also have, you may not need to do the annotations. We have a lot of physiology animations, which I could also show you in a few minutes, that show a lot of these physiological concepts. But while we're here on the iPad, I'm just going to show you how augmented reality works. So any of the 3D models here you can put into AR. So one of the best things to use augmented reality for are the muscle actions. So let's pick lateral head flexion. So I've got the model here, and down in the bottom left is this AR button. And the augmented reality works on mobile devices, iPhones, iPads, and Android. So I've got the AR and activated now. That's my desk. It just needs a flat surface. So wherever you see that yellow square, you hit that, and now my model is in the room.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my,
What?
yeah, there's the front of my office. And you can interact with the model. You can learn about it. So you still have all the learning tools.
Oh, that's great.
Splenius capitis.
Mission. And I wanted to show you here too. So on my desk, this is what I was pulling up. So we have some nice activities that go with augmented reality. These are some of our augmented reality lab activities. So I can, hopefully it'll work. I may have to come in and out of AR. Let me just oops, it's the wrong model. Hang on one second. So this model, I go here to, oops, sorry, if I go to quizzes, lab activities, there's my model. And I scan it over the page. And then, you know, the students can be working on this lab activity with the model in AR mode. And again, they can dissect this. They can do all the same things in AR mode that they can do outside of AR mode, like, you know, using the dissect tool to peel away layers, zooming in, all sorts of things. And then finally, one more AR view that's pretty cool is the gross anatomy lab. So this mimics a cadaver. You can see now I've got, let me just make it a little bit smaller, of the cadaver on the table. And I can add the, you know, add systems. If I want to add all the muscles, I can do that easily with just one touch. And I can even move through this model. And then I can click on structures in there to see what I'm looking at.
Oh my God. Emily, this is the atlas?
This is Atlas. Yep. So this all of the apps come with a courseware subscription. So the best way to kind of understand how it all works together is, you know, the visible body content, all this learning content is located in the apps. And courseware is the platform where you can assign the content, you put it all together, you can mix and match it, and then you can assign quizzes that are auto-graded. You can build your own quizzes and really build out a whole, you know, course for your students digitally. Any questions on Atlas or the AR?
Hey, Emily, we had a question from Susan asking if you can show vascular and neuro as well.
Sure.
Since you're in Atlas, do you want to pop over there and show that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll stay in the iPad. So another nice thing that's nice about really all of the visible body apps is they're really intuitive and it's easy to find information. So you could, you know, everything is tagged. So it's like a vetted Google. You could use the anatomy search down here to search for whatever you want. Or, you know, if you're looking for models of a particular system, the best thing to do is to go to the systems view here. And so here are all of our nervous system views. Here, so I can pull up, look at view number 1. And these models are set up to study different views in particular body systems. So what's nice here, there are multiple ways to, you know, add and remove anatomy. And so if you wanted to really look at, like, you know, how the nerves come off the spinal cord, you can easily just get rid of some of those vertebrae. The easiest way to do it is just to hit the dissect tool and dissect them away, like that. And there you go. And then just turn off the dissect tool and you can look at those different nerves. And again, it doesn't take long to get up and running on how to do all of this.
We're getting some questions about the AR availability. AR is available with the Human Anatomy Atlas portion, so it just has to be on the mobile device, which the mobile downloads are included with the student subscription to courseware. So if you are using courseware, the students would have that mobile download of Human Anatomy Atlas so they could put it on their device to use.
And the students really love it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take we have a lot of questions coming in, so I'm gonna, Maria has her hand raised. So Maria, I'm gonna unmute you now, or try to, so you can ask your question.
Okay. I actually have a couple of questions. One is related to the AR. What sort of technology would the student need to have for AR?
We have system requirements, but it works on most iPads, iPhones, and Android devices. So we came out with augmented reality in 2017. So most students have phones that, you know, are from, I think it would even work on phones and iPads that are like from 2016 and older. So we can definitely send you the specifics, but it does work on most devices that students already have.
It works on mine, and I have an older ones.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
And then when you're making a handout, can you choose what muscles you want to highlight when you create that figure? Or because I know that Debbie had shared a figure that she had created. You can customize those, I assume?
yeah, I just chose that one. I could have chose other muscles.
Okay. And is
And
it
you can
pretty?
also peel and get to the more inner muscles.
Yeah. And is it intuitive to know how to save those figures once you've created them?
I think so.
Okay.
After I've played with it, visible body to me is super simple.
Okay.
It took me like a day to get to it, to understand it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try to get through some of these questions over here in the Q&A. Lisa's asking, how could you give an overall review of muscle movements like hip external rotators, a list of muscles? Debbie, do you wanna take that one, or do you have any ideas?
I would go through Muscle Premium and show, because Muscle Premium has a lot of movements. It has like little videos of movements. At least that's where I would start. Emily, would you start there?
Yeah, are you talking about the educational video series, like the voiceover?
Yeah, where you can
Yes.
see the muscle moving.
Yeah, oh, the muscle actions. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
the
show you
actions.
real quick. Yeah. So, and
I don't
they're in both Atlas and
Yeah.
Muscle Premium, but I'll show you really quickly how easy it is to assign. So if you wanted to create an assignment with those muscle actions, it's very few clicks. You could pick either Muscle Premium or Atlas. Let's pick Muscle Premium, and you'll be given a menu. So here are all the muscle actions here, and you could click, you know, if you wanted to assign all of the muscle actions of the shoulder for your students, you could just click that and hit continue and assign it. You could also, you have the flexibility to just assign the specific actions that you want. So it's super simple to create an assignment, you know, with the content. And then the media here, these are some nice lecture videos that go into musculoskeletal concepts. So we've got some videos here, you can see there's a normal shoulder anatomy and function. These are a little bit longer. Our physiology animations are like 30 to 90 seconds. Those are pretty brief, but these are a little bit longer, a few minutes long, but pretty detailed. So you could also assign these.
Debbie, Terry is asking if you ask your students to learn about innervation or clinical correlations.
No, we don't. We don't get into it. It's freshman anatomy and physiology, so.
Are you using dissection in conjunction with visible body or just the virtual dissection?
We do dissect rats, but now because of COVID, I have no idea if we'll be back in school or not. So we may be just using visible body. And we're definitely just using visible body this summer because we're definitely online all summer. We used to do cats, but we can't get them anymore. So we changed to rats.
Emily, we're getting a lot of questions about what is included with courseware and pricing and options and stuff like that. Do you want to give a quick overview to that, or?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do as quick as I can. So courseware is $49.99 per student, and that's 2 years of web access, and they get the mobile apps as well, which they would own. So these do not expire. So they get, again, courseware includes all 4 visible body apps, web and mobile, 2 years for each student, and the ability for you to really build a course out and assign the 3D content in a meaningful way. So this course is correlated to the Merit textbook, but you could pick a lot of you could pick one of our textbook correlations already created. I'll show you how to do that. It's, again, super easy. We are happy, by the way, my email address is right here, and I'll post it in the chat. We have a team ready to help you, and so we can send out trial accounts to all of you after this webinar. Just let us know. So once you have your account, you can pick from our pre-made courses, or we can help build that for you. So if I click pre-made courses, we have a bunch of courses already built. We do have a lab course. We have textbook correlations. So, if you're already using one of these textbooks, so that's just a little bit right there. And then so you have this ability to create a nice course that follows the flow of what you're teaching, and create assignments and really direct students to exactly the concepts they need to study. So let's go into special senses here, for example. The students would, click on this, and now they're in our anatomy and physiology app, and they get a nice guided lesson on special senses. So they would just start. As you can see, this app is more like a textbook. It's divided into units and chapters and sections, and it follows a nice pedagogical path. So they would start here with a model. They get some information here. And right away, this is really the key difference between A&P and Atlas. They get a nice lesson plan. So they're guided. You can see the model is already set up. So they can dissect. They can definitely get hands-on and explore as much as they want to here. They've got hide and fade tools, but they don't have to. They're guided with this lesson plan on the left. And then they would click next, and I'll play this for you. This is one of the physiology animations.
The process of olfaction, or smelling, begins with hair-like cilia that line the nasal cavity. This lining is called the olfactory epithelium. As air enters the nasal cavity, some chemicals in the air bind to and activate nervous system receptors on the cilia. This stimulus sends a signal to the first-order neurons connected to the epithelial cells. The signal is carried by these neurons from the nasal cavity through openings in the ethmoid bone, and then to the olfactory bulbs of the brain. The signals then move from the olfactory bulbs along the olfactory tracts to the olfactory area of the cerebral cortex.
So they would finish watching that and click next, and now they're going to learn about the olfactory pathway. So a lot of this work is already done for you. So it's really easy to get up and running. And it's very intuitive for students. Like they pretty much intuitively know how to work with the models. They can zoom in to great detail. They can click around the model to learn about structures. You can see here, they've got the same tools they had in Atlas with the definition and pronunciation. But they would work their way through this lesson plan to learn the content. And just in the interest of time, I'll just come back here and show you, there's a lot of content you can add and, for them to understand and acquire the knowledge. And then we have a whole quiz bank of over 3,500 questions that you can assign. And we are adding, I think, about 2,000 more in the next month or two. But the quiz bank is, again, very easy to use. You can use these filters. So I guess the first step is to see what visible body has in the quiz bank. We have multiple choice, short answer, and dissection quizzes. We are the only learning platform that has auto-graded dissection quizzes. And what those are quizzes that have the students working hands-on with a model. So here's an example of a lower respiratory dissection quiz. I'll preview that. This will just take a few seconds to load. But basically what it's going to do is it's going to quiz the students on the structures. And they do have to dissect often to find the structures that are inside the body. And then you also, I don't know if I'll get into that today, I'm more than happy to, but I don't want to talk for too much longer. You definitely have the ability to create your own questions. So you can use our content, there's a lot of it, but you also have the ability to take our quizzes and modify them. You can remove questions, you can add questions, you can pool questions, so you can give each student a different set of questions, making the quizzes different amongst your students. You can randomize the order, set time constraints, all sorts of things.
Okay. Maria, did you have another question? It looks like you raised your hand. I mean, you should be unmuted. So
No, I never lowered my hand. I'm sorry. I just took care of it.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. Larry was asking if we had a pre-made course to merit, and we definitely do, Larry. We can send you that.
Right here. That's one. Which is essentials. Yeah, I think we have a few. And this page just has a sample. If it's not listed here, we probably have it in our bank.
Yeah, so just contact us. Emily's email was there. Mine was in the invite. We're happy to send you or, direct you to your rep for questions as well.
Close this. This is.
I have that problem
usually long.
with Zoom.
I know.
Getting a couple of other questions. Here's one. Is there a method to use the blank tags as a self-quiz so they can see the answers? How are those revealed? So, yeah, so with the tags, you can either turn, basically you can turn off the label or turn them on in the settings. So, I mean, you could download the image and send, there's not really a way for people to fill them in yet. But students could start with them not filled in and then see if they know what they are before they fill them in, or you could use the, you could use it, if you were lecturing, you could have it with the tags, blank tags, and then, have students say what the different structures are. I don't know. Emily, can you think of additional ideas there?
Yeah, I think that is the best option right now is to, if you wanted to, quiz your students maybe. So basically, if I understand correctly, put the blank tags on and have them fill them out as a quiz. You could do that. Let me just make sure I'm on blank. So say, for example, that, you could just easily download this image like this. It would be a two-dimensional image, but you could download it and then, actually, let me actually do that there. I just have to make sure I remember where it is. So there's my image there. Let me just save that to my desktop.
You just have to figure out what space.
I know, right? I'm like, where am I going here? And then you could come into the question bank and create your own quiz question. So we'll make this a short answer. And then you could ask your question, and then you can put the image up here. So you could actually annotate those labels and just say, like, you know, tell me what the structures are for, you know, 1, 2, and 3, labels 1, 2, and 3, and then upload your image here. Should be here. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time doing that. It's there, but you know, you get the idea. You could just upload it there and then categorize your question, and now it's in your question bank.
You want to go back and with that quiz? There you go.
Yes. Yeah, so this is the dissection quiz. And you can see here, here's what the students have to do. Select the right or left superior secondary bronchi. So they could, you can see here, they have their hide and fade tools, so they can remove anatomy and then get in here. I'm just using a mouse to scroll. And they would select something, hit submit, and then work their way through the quiz. So it has them working hands-on with the model, and these dissection quizzes, again, are auto-graded, and you do have the ability to create your own dissection quizzes with our library of models. So if we don't have a quiz or a question that asks for the structure that you want your students to know, you can absolutely create that, and that's an auto-graded quiz as well.
Okay. Does it integrate into Canvas LMS? Not fully yet, although it's in the works. We speak.
It is. We're looking to have single sign-on this summer, and then deeper integration just a couple of months after that. But you can right now, you can actually use the assignment links. You could put these into Canvas, and it will direct the students directly to those particular assignments. So you could copy this link and create an assignment in Canvas. When the students click that link, they'll come straight here or to the folder if you wanted to. And then, you know, for the grades, you can export it to a Canvas or whatever your LMS is, a CSV ready to import into your LMS.
Okay. If you're using a visible body course correlated with a textbook, are the modules pulling content from the apps? So yes, so all the content that we're looking at is our content. We've just kind of organized it in a way that it matches the textbook. Okay, I have a lot of questions in chat and Q&A, so I'll try to get to them. If anybody wants to raise their hand to ask their questions, we can do it that way too. We do have a question. Are the structures and actions of the muscle in one place, or do you have to go to a different app?
No, they're all in Atlas.
Yeah. So yeah, you can pretty much do everything you need for the muscles within Atlas, but also within Muscle Premium. You can access the actions there as well.
Yep.
Okay. June, I'm gonna unmute you so you can ask your question. I think you should be unmuted now, June.
Yes. So I have been approached about possibly using Z-Space with visible body. What is the functionality of that? Z-Space is quite expensive.
Yeah, so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Z-Space is
Software.
actually on one device, right? So you wouldn't have it across multiple areas.
Right.
So, and I believe Emily, we only have Atlas with Z-Space, right?
Correct. Correct.
So it would be like having Atlas on that one platform or on that one machine, which is, you know, it's cool, it's big and everything, but yeah, it is pricey. The nice thing about courseware is, again, it includes that mobile download, so the students then have it wherever they are, so they can study on the go. Does that answer your question, June? It should be, I mean, it's
Yes.
a relatively like similar experience. It's just obviously, you know, the different
Yeah.
platform.
It's just extremely expensive, and I'm not sure of the feasibility of that right now. And it sounds like you can do similar things, and not make it 3D totally, but similar things with your programs.
Yeah.
Yep, and like Kara said, it's one of the key differences that every student gets their own copy versus the Z-Space machine or something that's in the lab that they have to share. You know, every student gets their own account, their own mobile downloads, their own access to the lesson plans with visible bodies. So it's really anywhere, they can study anywhere, anytime from the devices they already have. And I'm just scrolling through the muscular system content in A&P. I know the question earlier was like about muscle actions, and you can definitely pull those from Atlas and Muscle Premium for those muscular system views, but we do have a lot of them in A&P that are, again, set up in that pedagogical order that may align with the way you already teach these muscles.
All right, we've got some hands raised. Mitra, I apologize if I said your name wrong. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you so you can ask your question.
Hi, yeah, this is Mitra. Thank you for the meeting. I have a question. Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question regarding the e-textbook. I noticed that you mentioned you offer a couple of different textbook or references. How does it work? So are students, you know, will they be able to use different references at the same time? How does it work? I don't understand clearly.
Sure. So yes, the answer is yes. You could use whatever reference you want. We are textbook agnostic. So meaning, you know, we have so much virtual content that can be mixed and matched and put in whatever order works for you. We've done that with a lot of pre-built courses for our professors so they can just get up and running with the content that correlates to the book they're already using. But the content can be mixed and matched however you want it to be.
So for example, if we are studying muscles, the trunk muscles, at the same time we can use different references about those muscles?
Absolutely. I mean, you can use whatever book you want. I hope I'm understanding the question correctly. You can use whatever reference book you want, and then the content available to you comes from, you know, all the apps here. And then we actually are adding a fifth this summer, our pathophysiology app, which has 3D models of pathologies and also beating heart. So we have a lot of 3D content that you can use alongside whatever book you're using. And we have a lot of professors who actually use visible body as the main source of learning. The textbook is ancillary, or they've dropped the textbook.
We have dropped the textbook. It's optional. Some students want a paper in their hand, so they do buy, but we tell them they can buy like an older edition off Amazon that's super cheap if they want to. So we have gotten rid of the textbook.
So the cost of the payment with the e-textbook, am I right?
The cost is, it's for this whole, it's for the whole platform. For every,
Including the e-textbook.
well, there's no, if by e-textbook, do you mean this app here, this anatomy and physiology app? The one I said was kind of, you know, more like an e-textbook. The answer to that is yes. So yeah, it does come with this app here, which is, you know, it follows the path that's more like an ebook.
Oh, I see. It is different from the reference. I mean, for example, the Merriam.
Yes, yes it is. Yep, so what we've done is just we've taken our content and correlated it to Merritt's textbook.
I understand. Okay, so there is no separate e-textbook.
No, no, it's
Oh.
just the platform here with the virtual apps.
Okay, I have one more question. So if the students have problem using the visible body, you know, how can they be assisted? You know,
And Debbie, I think it'd be great for you to talk about your experience getting students up and running and maybe solving any issues that come up. So we do have a great support team, and you have a visible body rep who will help you every step of the way. So we're extremely responsive. At this question mark here, it leads to our help center. We do have a support forum here, so the students could go here, and there are a lot of very brief articles that walk them through kind of the frequently asked questions and how to do things. But it is very intuitive as well. So we typically don't run into too many issues with students. I don't know, Debbie, if you want to speak to that.
The biggest problem they had is they would buy it not through the courseware, they would buy the other one. I forgot what that one was called.
Just the app itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they weren't getting my courseware part. They were just getting the app, and of course they didn't want to buy it twice. So I always had to email Emily, what do I do? And she would take it over from there.
Yeah, we can definitely help with things like that. And we've even streamlined the process since then too. So most students, you know, all you need to do is share this link, and we can walk you through this. But all you need to do to get your students up and running is share this link. It will be different for every course. Put that in your LMS or wherever students will see it. If they click that, they'll be guided through, you know, how to get started. And again, we are offering complimentary free access until June 30th. So if you're teaching summer courses now, please let us know if you want to try it in the class. It's free until June 30th. But yeah, we do have a lot of great tutorials and articles. We've got a great YouTube channel. This is just a nice little tutorial on how to zoom and dissect and rotate the model. I won't play the whole thing for you, but I just wanted to show you.
Interacting with.
It's 37 seconds long, so everything is nice and brief for students, and just, you know, these nice little articles for when they, you know, need any sort of help on really how to get up and running. But it is really intuitive.
So the reason I'm asking, because I have no experience with visible body yet, but since Debbie has been using this for a couple of years, I just want to make sure the students are very, you know, they feel comfortable using this. It is not very complex and difficult for them to use visible body.
No, it's all just click, read, and they have no problem. They find it much easier than I found it at the beginning, and I found it easy. But
Okay.
they're computer geniuses.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a nice calendar too. You know, they could go linearly through the assignment path like this, or anything that you assign will show on the calendar, and they could just go to the calendar, you know, in terms of just navigating what they have to do and when. This is a nice organization.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Margaret, I'm gonna unmute you now, I hope, so you can ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
I have pre-made courses, but in some of the graded quizzes, there are things in the graded quizzes, like I basically want just the dissections, but those are already built in with the multiple choice questions. How can I get rid of those multiple choice that are already set up because it's a preloaded course?
Oh, okay. That's very simple. So if I would look into the assignment, and we can definitely walk through this with you if you want, but you could just click into the folder, and if it's grayed out, then it's not published and the students, they won't get the assignment.
I mean, like within like that graded quiz right there for the skeletal system.
Yep.
If you click on that, okay, and we've got those multiple choice quizzes that are already built into that.
Yep.
Can you get rid of the multiple choice and only have the dissection?
Yes, you definitely can. So I just clicked that edit button, and then I could go to edit assignment content. Let's see. There we go. And you could uncheck the ones that you don't want.
Okay, great. And the clone thing, I made some messes with the cloning before. I'm not really sure that I understand if you have to clone something to put it in as an assignment, or what exactly the function of the clone is.
Yeah, you know, our trainer always says clone it means to make it your own. So technically the only time you need to clone it is if you want to edit it. If you just want to add it to a quiz, you don't have to clone it. It's
so if I had, say, the axial skeleton, but I wanted to add some things to that.
Yes, then you would need to clone it because you need to make it your own to edit it. Does that make sense?
Clears that up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
All right, let's see. No, just like June, Margaret, and Mitra, you still have your hands up. So if you have any other questions, feel free to speak.
No, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to get to some of them within our Q&A here. Rick is asking, how would you use the software to do a lab practical?
I've done it by using the dissection quizzes and made that my practical. And I did some of my own questions and some of the visible body questions. And I did that this past spring for the second practical. And I also added written questions, which I don't usually have on a practical, but I had to have enough questions.
Okay, hopefully that answered your question, Rick. If not, if you want to raise your hand, maybe we can chat live. Kathy is saying she made up a similar chart which included plane of motion and specific exercises. Can we modify charts and things that are available in visible body? Not sure I'm understanding which charts and everything. Emily, does that?
Yeah, if I could get clarification on which charts. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We have a planes and positions ebook. Yet the content there is not editable, but you can definitely take the content. I would say in Atlas is your best place to really customize and build models, you know, and label them like the way you want to. Would you agree, Debbie? Atlas?
Kathy is saying they were the ones the original presenter used. So the ones that you originally shared, Debbie, those are things that you put together, right, Debbie?
Yeah, that was just done in tables. I think it was in PowerPoint.
Yeah. And we're going to share the one, we're going to share something at the end that Debbie created, so you guys can at least see that. We'll send it out after. Okay, Anne, you have a question. I'm gonna allow you to talk now, I think, if I got this right. You may have to unmute yourself, Anne. I can't.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I have a quick question about the link that you brought up that we will send to students in order. Our students in our program will take kinesiology, and then the second 8 weeks of the semester, they'll move into neuroscience with another instructor. If we wanted to use visible body for both kinesiology and neuro, would they purchase twice, or how might that work?
They don't have to purchase twice. They just have to purchase once. And as long as their subscription is active, they can get invited to as many courses as you want.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see here. A lot more questions. How do you use the dissection tool at the bottom of the screen?
Figured that out.
Okay, we figured that out. Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it was just functioned exactly like the hide. I always just use the hide thing.
Yep, you can just click it and go. Julietta is asking, I imagine you've been teaching online this semester with the coronavirus situation. Do you use visible body quizzes to test your students, or do you supplement with other ways to test their knowledge? Debbie, do you want to take that one?
I used visible body quizzes plus added some of my own questions. So it was kind of a mixture, and I did both dissection and multiple choice. Basically, I did anything that I could have pre-graded.
Amen to that.
Margaret, did you have a question? Because we can't hear you right now.
Oh, no, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I just said amen to that. I used for all the rest of the semester once we moved online. The visible body graded dissections took the place basically of lab.
That's great.
And it was wonderful.
Yes. Anything that cuts some of the work out. I was literally on the computer from 9 in the morning till 9 at night, just trying to figure out how to change from in-person to online.
Yeah. It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't. And I'm glad it's over.
Yes.
Christina has a question. Christina, I'm going to unmute you, or try to.
Hi, thank you very much for sharing. It's been very interesting.
Thank you.
One I had was you guys started talking about the lab portion, and I haven't used the software yet, so I'm a little bit, lost because of my own doing, not because you guys aren't doing a great job. But you were just talking about how you did lab dissection quizzes and how that really helped. So I'm about to teach a class in June, and I have to do that. So I'm planning on hopefully taking visible body up on the free June trial, but I'm hoping to get it and try to figure out what you all were talking about. And I couldn't follow how you said you did lab dissection quizzes and that really helped. Could you elaborate a little bit?
Do you have it open, Emily, still?
Yeah, do you want me to share my screen, Debbie, and walk through it?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I don't have this body up.
Sure. All right, so we just want to look at dissection quizzes again?
Yeah, just any quiz. I don't care what topic.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to go straight to the quiz bank. So we go to visible body.
Question type, dissection.
We're going to do circulatory this time. We could filter down more, but we don't have to. We've got 3 here. So these are the dissection quizzes. preview that.
And these are all pre-made for you, so you don't have to do anything, just assign them.
Oh, okay.
And you can assign, so each student gets 2 out of the 3, and it's random who gets what.
Am I still unmuted?
Yep, you are.
It took me a little while to make my students understand how important it was to use the practice quizzes that aren't graded per se. I mean, they get how many you got right, but I always gave them 3, 4, 5 attempts to really learn, you know, that you've got to keep dissecting deeper, depending on the structure that you're looking for. And it was kind of a learning curve for them. They wanted to just go straight to the graded quiz, and they would only get 1 attempt for that. And so the practice quizzes are super.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, because the quizzes I've been doing online, I've been giving them 3 or 4 attempts. You know, trying to go to a whole online during all this stressful thing, trying to find the right balance.
And if they get the answer wrong, then it'll tell them what the answer is, and they can do it and do it and do it. You know, so I found that super great for the students once they got over that hump of realizing they couldn't just, you know, jump straight into the graded dissection.
Okay, so practice quizzes first prior to graded dissection quizzes. And this is in the, and I was trying to follow when you guys were talking about AR versus dissection, but this is all a part of the whole software. It's just called dissection quizzes.
And another reason to have them do the practice is most people think, okay, this is the image I've got, and they don't realize they can then turn this to find whatever they're supposed to find in this picture. I didn't even read the question, sorry.
Nice. And then I guess they can dissect down if it's deeper.
Yeah, they could go into the structure if they needed to. Where most students just see the picture. They're so used to it being on a paper, they expect that's the only thing I can see. I can't go in. So if they do the practice ones, they learn, oh, I've got to maybe hide the muscle to get to the bone or something.
Thanks for sharing. This is very good. Very helpful for us, like you said, trying to switch online and lab dissection online and make meaningful learning things that don't take you 100 hours. Thanks.
Yep, and again, we're here to help. It's honestly, it does not take much time to learn the system.
No, it doesn't.
We're here to help you, but just to show you, I was just showing you a practice quiz in A&P and how, you know, they can select an answer and show answer and just keep practicing over and over again. And all of those quizzes are located in A&P, and then we also have a bunch of practice quizzes in Atlas as well. So lots of options for practice quizzes. Let's see here.
Derek is raising his hand too. Derek, I'm gonna unmute you now. So hopefully while Emily navigates, we can take some more questions.
Can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Hi, I'm a little bit confused on, for students, the web suite version versus courseware, because on the Visible Body homepage, you can see the different bundles, but courseware isn't listed. What is the difference between the web suite version and courseware version for students?
So the web suite version is just a couple of the apps. It does not include the courseware platform. So the courseware platform includes the apps plus,
I'm sorry, you broke up there for a minute. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry about that. I think Zoom is not very cooperative today. So the web suite package, that's just the apps. So it's just a couple of the apps. So courseware is actually our teaching and learning platform. So it includes access to the apps, but it also allows you to kind of create an assignment and of course use the quiz bank.
Okay.
So
that's only because courseware it's not under the Explore apps, and it's listed under instructors.
Yeah.
But there's no place for students to actually. I mean, I see I see the subscription, but I need to send my students a link to say this is what I want you to have, or
Yeah.
this is you need to go purchase this, and I don't see on your homepage.
Yeah.
how
So
they can
that's
actually
what.
order.
Yeah, so what Emily has clicked on now is within the course, she has clicked on the invite people link, and that's
Okay.
what you send to your students to get them into your course within courseware.
Okay, and then that's where they would actually purchase.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They can purchase themselves, or yeah, we have
If
options.
they've already let's say they purchased Muscle Premium, but I need them to upgrade, can they do that?
Reach out to us and to whoever your rep is. I will make
Okay.
it. Derek can have your rep get in contact with you.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can see if we can help you out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I put this link on Blackboard. We use Blackboard as our learning tool. So I put this right on Blackboard.
Yeah, I use Moodle, and that's what I did. I just put the link straight on Moodle. So
Yeah.
they didn't have to type in courseware.visible, whatever. They just go on, and if you use Moodle, they have tabs that run down the side, and I just created a tab that said visible body, and it would go to that page, and they'd click on the link, and there they'd be.
Yeah, that's exactly what Blackboard looks like. They just click on visible body. And the first time they click on it, they have to have their credit card and be ready to pay. The second time, it just puts them in.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. Can you explain how you got AR to project on your desk? So that's just hitting that little button. You just kind of have to aim it there. It just needs a flat surface. Maybe if Emily wants to get her iPad up and go, and she can show me one more time, and we'll try to get a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Can you explain the additional or other content in Muscle Premium? So if you're talking about the last media tab on Muscle Premium, Elizabeth, that is videos from practitioners. So exercise science, kinesiology type folks. And they're either going to talk about the structure and function of a certain area and how, like how all the muscles and joints of the knees are supposed to work together. Or it'll talk about like a certain type of injury. So like what symptoms present for plantar fasciitis or something like that. So that's what the media tab is within Muscle Premium, if that's what you're asking. If not, you can raise your hand or we'll.
I can show you real quick. So I'm in Muscle Premium, and these are the videos we were looking at just briefly in the create assignment function. But these are some of the videos here. Let's see, so I can just give you a quick preview. We won't watch the whole thing.
Hello, my name is Lenny Macrina, and I'm a physical therapist and orthopedic and sports medicine rehabilitation specialist. Today, I'll be talking about basic anatomy and the biomechanics of the shoulder joint. The shoulder joint, made up of the humerus bone and the glenoid of the scapula, is characterized as having the greatest amount of motion in the body. Compared to other joints in the body, the shoulder joint is extremely loose, which allows tremendous.
So you get the idea, and it's 3.5 minutes
internal
long.
or lateral rotation at 90 degrees of abduction.
And then there's some pathologies as well. And you saw total hip replacement, knee biomechanics, torn meniscus. So that's a great content asset in Muscle Premium.
Students tell me they love that because they all know somebody who has a torn meniscus or rotator cuff, or a parent had this or that.
Okay, let's see here. We've got a raised hand from Darcy. Darcy, I'm gonna unmute you. Hopefully. You may have to unmute yourself too if you're unmuted on your end.
I'm just holding, I'm showing that the augmented reality in Atlas. I'm just holding like my iPad about 10 inches above my desk, just where the camera is initializing, and then I'm tapping this yellow square. And then I just pull my iPad back, and here's my model. Oops, I can make it bigger or smaller. Wherever, you know, wherever you are, you can put the model in space.
It is so cool.
It's so cool.
So I have two questions. One is in the muscle premium, which you just showed. Is that in addition? I'm looking at the $49.95 one for the students. Is the muscle premium, is that an additional purchase, or is that embedded in the courseware itself?
It's included in courseware. So courseware is really the best value for students. It's the cheapest way to go because they get all four. Share my screen again. They get all 4 apps. Actually, and then coming this summer, they'll get 5. And all of these apps, yeah, together are about, right now, $137, but with courseware, it's $49.99.
Okay, got it. And then my other question was, I was on one of these this morning with some of my students. Can you just show again, I don't know how to get to it. You showed the correlation from the anatomy to a CAT scan and the anatomy to an MRI. I think we did brain and chest, I think were the 2 that you have so far. Can you just show how you find that again?
Yeah, so those, I think you're talking about the cross sections.
Correct.
So those are in Atlas. So you would, I'll show you actually like really your starting point to assign it. If I come to the, the assignment page of your course is really your home base. You would hit create new assignment, choose the app, and then you could search, but you would come to cross sections here. Choose which ones you want, and then I'll show you what they look like in Atlas. So these are 3D models of cross sections, so you can manipulate the 3D models, zooming and rotating and clicking around. And then here on the left, you just have to tap that and you get a radiological scan. So in this case, it's a CT scan. You can click the pins. It's going to tell you what that structure is in the nice, you know, the little menu up on the right. And it's going to highlight the structure in the model. And then we also have cadaver views.
Okay, and how did you get there again? So you went to cross section or you went to anatomy first? You went to gross anatomy and then to cross section?
Nope, just to cross sections. So it's in Atlas under cross sections. Yep, okay. And then in courseware, so you would, to assign it, you would choose Human Anatomy Atlas and then look at the cross sections here. And you could assign these right in your assignment, in your folders.
I was kind of hit or miss. Like once I created the assignment, I kind of lost it once or twice, you know, to get back to it. Does it just go in the quiz bank or wherever, and then you have to put all the stuff about the assignment and the dates when it's due? I've done it, but it's one of those things where I've had to do it so fast, I don't know that I really, really know every step easily.
Got it. So you would just continue through the steps. You would name it. Let's see. Whatever you want. Select a due date. You could do a delay release or not. So you have to, this might be the step.
No, I put it in the folder. Sometimes when I don't know what I was doing. But.
Okay. Sometimes that happens to me. If I don't put it in the right folder, that it could get lost, or you do have the ability to create a new folder at this point here as well. So we could Just create a new folder, write a description, and there are some nice formatting tools. It's always good to give very, bold out like what you want your students to do. Like if you want to write, like, I want you to study these cross sections and really learn X, Y, and Z structure, you can definitely add that here. And then once you're done, you can choose to send all of your students an email notification, which will alert them that there is a new assignment, and you would just publish it.
Now, why would you use save draft? If you didn't want to assign it right at that moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want to publish it. Yeah, exactly.
And I just wanted to say real quick that another thing I really, really liked was being able to look at the student preview to see what they really see. Because sometimes I wouldn't have things in the right order and I wouldn't realize it until I looked at what they were doing, what they were seeing.
Yeah, that's a nice feature. Yeah, just to check as you go along.
In cross section though, so can you just go back? So you're in cross section. How do they find it? The choice just comes up when they're looking at the cross section if they want to see a CT or a cadaver view, or do they have to click a different link? Like, how do they know how to get there?
So they would come here. So this is your assignment, and their point of entry is courseware. So they would click this link here. It's going to open that first cross-section view. And because it's open because they already opened it, but a lot of times they'll probably see it like this. Our developers like a very clean design, which is nice to not have it cluttered, but sometimes it's over in the left. So maybe, if you're concerned that the students might miss it, they might get here and not know where it is, you could just give them a note in that description, like click the left to see the cadaver and the CT scan, but it is right here on the left.
And that comes up with every cross section. They just have to click, because that's a brain view there. They don't know if they'll know what that is. So they just, that little icon will always show up. And every time you click that on the systems that you have a CT and cadaver, or MRI and cadaver, it will automatically bring it up. Is that correct?
Automatically bring up this menu here? Or?
No, it'll automatically bring up the CT and cadaver view. If
yes.
Click, it will always bring it up. They don't have to hunt anywhere for it. That's
no.
what I'm saying.
No, not at all. So I can work my way through the body here, and you can see like those cross sections going to change, and I will still have a view right there. Flip this. And then just keep working through. So yeah, there is a correlating cadaver and CT scan. There is sometimes it's an MRI with every cross section.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. And again, you can manipulate the model however you want.
And when they click on the blue tab, where does it come up to tell them what the name of the structure is? Where do they go to look for that? So click on a kidney, whatever you want to click on, doesn't matter.
There we go.
So it automatically populates. They don't have to go to another icon. Once they click that flag, it brings up the entity.
Yep.
They don't have to hunt. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm doing is clicking the pin, and it's automatically highlighting the structure in the model and then giving me the definition in the menu.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Stephanie is asking if it's possible to set up 2 different courses within courseware where students in one course can't see the other course. Yes, you absolutely can create as many sections as you need to, and the students only see the one that they're enrolled in. Hopefully that answers your question, Stefan.
Yes.
Okay, I have a couple of questions from Tara. University has a subscription to Atlas, but that's it. Is all of this available through that? No, only the Atlas app would be available. She's also asking, can you show the physiology animations? So do you have physiology animations open?
Sure, I can. I'll pick that up real quick.
Yeah, so each app is individual, Tara, unless you're within courseware, then you have all 4 of them. And
as this is pulling up, so there's definitely some overlap in content as we were learning with the muscle actions are both in Atlas and Muscle Premium. All of the normal physiology animations are both in physiology animations and also in A&P. But what physiology animations has that the other apps do not are pathology animations. So we'll look at those in just a minute. I have too many tabs open.
someone asked earlier about the AR and if it had to be on an iPad or an iPhone. It does have to be on a mobile device, but it does work with some Android devices. It actually works with most Android devices. It just has to be updated enough and it has to support AR.
So these are the normal physiology, and then we have some pathology animations here. Any questions about these?
Can you just run through one? Just pick one and run through it?
Is there one that you'd like to see? Here.
Try ulcerative colitis. Let's see. Doesn't matter. I don't.
All right.
Anybody pick one.
Large intestine or colon is where your body forms feces. In some cases, healthy tissue can become diseased. Ulcerative colitis is a disease that causes inflammation in sores or ulcers in the innermost lining. Is called inflammatory bowel disease. It is a chronic condition and is characterized by alternating periods of flare-ups and remission when the symptoms of the disease disappear.
Okay. Marissa is asking if students take quizzes and exams created in courseware, can they take them on their phone or does it have to be on a computer? So we are working on the mobile quizzing, so that should hopefully be coming soon. Right now it is only on the mobile though. I mean, or sorry, on the desktop, sorry, on the laptop. Okay. Can we link this program to Canvas for grading purposes? Yeah, Emily's actually can show you quickly within the gradebook. You could just export the grades you can export the grades from courseware and then import them into Canvas. So there's a little drop down in Canvas.
Right here.
Okay. So we still have, we still have a lot of questions to get through, and I know people are probably jumping off. So if you have anything, you know, that you want to raise your hand and ask your questions, I'm trying to get through as many as I can in between. So if we don't, we will try to download the questions from the chat and everything so we can follow up after. Okay, Margaret, did you have another question or?
Yes, just this is about the money stuff. If we sell this through the bookstore so they can use their financial aid, I know the price is the same, but it seems like I read somewhere the bookstore has to commit to at least $750 worth of codes, which is only like 15 students, but is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't get what she just said. Can you say that again? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
The least amount of codes that the bookstore can get, the bookstore has to purchase at least $750 worth of codes, which is only 15 students buying, so it's not unreasonable by any means. But they can't just, buy 10 to sell so students can use their financial aid.
So yeah, some of the students have to purchase in the bookstore. So that's, I mean, if they have aid, they usually do. So does that answer the question?
Well, if you send the link to your students, I mean, I'm not quite sure why it has to be bought through the bookstore. Are you saying just students on aid have to buy it through the bookstore? Or if you send the link, your student could just purchase it, right?
Correct. Yeah, so if you send the link, the students can purchase it directly. It's only if they, I mean, if they needed to, or they already bought the code in the bookstore, then they could just input the code there. But yeah, they can absolutely purchase it directly through us, which, usually ends up better because we don't mark it up, and sometimes the bookstores will mark up.
Oops.
Okay, this is my first exposure to visible body. I would like to know the levels of subscription. For example, is there a free option? What does it not have that the next level have? If you use that, do you just require all of your students to subscribe? Emily, do you want
that one?
What are the levels of subscription? Is there a free option? So right now there is a free option. We have a trial going on till June 30th. But then after that, it's generally, so we've got the 2-year access code that Emily was talking about for $49.99. And that includes access for 2 years plus those mobile downloads that the students get to keep.
And then there are also institutional options. So we work with a lot of departments, libraries on campus who can be institutional subscribers. And that pricing is a little bit different because it's an annual fee, but we definitely have a few options there as well. And for the free trial, the only difference is, students get complete access to all the web materials, but they don't get the permanent mobile apps for the free trial right now.
Someone's asking, do you use Saladin textbook and lab manual? I don't think, Debbie, you're not using a book at all, are you?
No, we say if you want a book to get Marab, because that's what we used to use.
We do have a correlation to Saladin. We have the essentials here, but I'm sure we have the full text. And I believe we do have the lab. Yeah, I think, oh, here we go. There's one.
Okay, Sue is asking, will we be giving a webinar at some point about how you've adapted your lessons for remote learning? That is a good idea. We have a number of webinars still to come, so hopefully you'll be seeing one soon with, I believe we have one next week for moving the labs. So hopefully you can join us for that one. I believe it's next Thursday, same time, same place.
Yeah, we will be here.
Yeah, coming to you on your living room couch. Someone is saying they use Marib. Could this courseware take the place of the textbook?
It has for me, but
yeah,
we don't require it anymore.
Lisa is asking if there are step-by-step video tutorials on YouTube. Yeah, we have a number of demos on our YouTube channel. We also have some, Emily is showing on the screen, the support channel. If you go into courseware, there's a ton of some of them are videos, some are just just like step-by-step instructions. We also have a webcast and demo page from our site as well.
Yeah, you can see there's, and a lot of the things in courseware, it really is, I know it's like, it's intimidating looking at a new software program, especially when you're not hands-on, but most of the things in courseware are done with a few clicks, you know, or just 3 to 4 steps. So yeah, we have the whole, so here, I'm just clicking around showing you some of, and in general, you know, we do have some more just general articles. But yeah, here's one on the bulk editing feature with a video. You know, how do I change multiple assignment due dates and release dates?
Hey, we have a question coming in. Kara or Kara, I'm gonna unmute you. Sorry, I'm a Kara with a K, so I never know if C's or K's or Karas or Karas, but go ahead and I think I have to unmute you too. Okay, I think you're
Hi. Me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is Kara. Hi. I was wondering how we get our free trial, like for the courseware.
We will have your rep contact you. Okay.
Okay.
Definitely. And you can also just come to our main page and go to instructors, courseware, and this isn't the only place, but there are lots of spots on the website to request an instructor code. So you could click this, submit it. It goes to a live human being within seconds who will respond to you. So any form you fill out on our site, you'll get a response very quickly.
You also
have your rep follow up as well, but you can always come to our website, submit any of these forms, and our team will be in touch with you right away.
And you guys are also amazing about getting back when you have a question about, you know, I'm in the middle of doing an assignment. How do I do this? They get back to you, it seems like, almost as soon as you hit send on your email to them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we are pretty responsive, so definitely we will have your rep reach out to you, but feel free to contact us on our main page as well.
Okay, can all four question types be included in one quiz? So currently the different quizzes, you can't merge them together yet. So the dissection quiz would be separate from the multiple choice quiz. Hopefully that answered that question. Kai is asking, can you remove entire systems such as the skeletal system with one click in dissection? And yes, you absolutely can. Emily, do you still have Atlas open? Because that would probably, or Muscle Premium, because you could show that really quickly.
Let me see, I will open up Atlas. Just take a second. So the question was, can you remove a whole system with one click? Is that right?
Correct. So can you remove the entire system, such as the skeletal system, with one click in dissections?
Yes, definitely. So if you think of, it does take a little bit of time to learn kind of what's unique about each app. But if you think about Atlas as being the one where you have the most flexibility for dissection, you know, there are definitely hide and fade tools and in A&P and Muscle Premium, but Atlas has a systems tray, it has the hide and fade, it has the dissect tool. So lots of options for dissect. This is a little slow. It's normally a lot faster than this. I think I just have too much open.
Someone was asking about microanatomy views and quizzes. Yes, that is coming next. So that's what they're working on now for the quiz updates. And I know Emily alluded to new quiz questions being added, and those are the ones that are, those are among the ones that are being added.
Yeah. It's definitely taking too long. I'm going to refresh. Yeah, that's the other option. Just in the interest of time, I think I'm going to go to the iPad. Oh, no, here we go. We thought we'd have like a little nice, like, take a deep breath here for all of it while it loads. Normally it is pretty quick. It's about 5 seconds or less. So we wanted to let's look at one of the regional views for this. We can go into this regional view here. I can easily add or remove the whole skeletal system. So I would just go to the systems tray right here, click, and then click the skeletal system icon. So that will add it, it'll add it and highlight the whole icon here, and then to remove it, I just click it again. You can also, it's thinking of Atlas as this like powerful tool where you can do a lot of different dissection. We can build this model up just adding on the different systems or taking them off. I can also, like maybe I just want to remove the thoracic cage, but I want to keep the rest of the skeletal system on. It's really easy to do that. So I can just, what I would do is just select one of the structures in the group and then come up to the menu here, and you can see where it says fourth rib. Click this little arrow, this little down arrow to expand it, and you get a breadcrumb trail. So I can just keep going up. I can select the entire thoracic cage. It's going to highlight it, and then I just click hide. So that's another way. It's very easy on and off whole system with the systems tray, but breadcrumb trail allows you to remove groups of structures.
While you're in there, Kai is also asking can you compare a normal lung with a diseased lung side by side, and if we have any COVID-19 lung examples? Cool.
Really good question. So we will, is the short answer. In Atlas, it's just normal physiology, normal anatomy. You do have some pathologies here. No, that's not, oops, sorry, I should actually click on the lung. So I do have some pathologies listed here. These are, it's not a model, but you've got information in Atlas. But in Pathophys, share the screen. So it's this P&P app here I'm going to open. I'm pretty sure we don't have, I don't think we have respiratory right now. Right, we have a little bit. But we are working on more lung models, I know that for sure. So we've got some physiology at the top and pathology here.
Pneumothorax is a condition that occurs when one or both.
So that's an animation. I'll go to assets. So I do have I'm just looking here, the respiratory tract here. I don't know if this is going to show me a diseased lung, but I will get back to you on what content we have coming for diseased lungs and perhaps some models on COVID-19.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Is this the new app that's coming?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is the beating heart I was talking about. I can adjust the BPM. And you have a nice walkthrough here, a nice lesson plan that's going to walk the students through. So, and then there's cirrhosis of the liver. That's a 2D image. I'm looking for my polycystic kidney.
Oh, that's cool.
And it works just like Atlas, so the same user experience where you can click around and learn what the structures are in the model.
We have a question coming in about, can we lock students out of the content on other devices during quizzes or exams? We don't really have a way of locking them out from accessing it on their phones if they've downloaded it during the quiz. The best thing that we suggest is you can limit the time that students have to take the quiz so they don't have as much time to go navigate between different things. But yeah, we don't have like a lockdown browser currently or anything like that. Let's see. We're using this for summer fall courses. How can we access upcoming webinars? It's helpful to learn new features and ways to use the program. Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have a number of them on our website. Emily, can you show on the website where people can access the webinars?
Sure.
We're trying to hold them like once every week or two. You should definitely see emails about it, and we can definitely ask your rep to, to make sure that she fills you in or they fill you in.
So here's one place here, webcasts and demos. Again, it's on our main page, visiblebody.com. Go to instructors, webcasts and demos. And see, there's the button again. So it's in a lot of places on our website. If by any chance you want to proactively reach out to us before your rep gets to you, do feel free to fill out that form. And here we have some more webinars that we've done recently. And so here's some nice getting started as well. Here's one on moving the labs online and walks through our lab course in depth. A nice getting started, editing pre-made virtual courses. And then we have, we've posted a lot of these office hours that we've done with instructors who use Visible Body in this forum, where we have an instructor speaking about it and then opening it up for questions. So we have those as well. If that's on YouTube, we can send that to you.
All right. I'm going to try to get through to the chat and just kind of scroll through this hard because those all come feeding in. So if anybody has a question that we missed and you're still on, please feel free to raise your hand or put it in the Q&A, which for some reason lets me filter it a little bit easier. Let's see here. People are asking about the recording. Yeah, we are recording this. We will send it out. Sometimes it takes, a day or so for it to kind of download and everything, but we definitely can. For anyone who needs trial access, just, let us know. You can go to the website where Emily pointed it out, or if you know who your rep is, you can definitely go to them.
Or email one of us. We can connect you with your rep. I'll put my email in the chat as well.
Yeah, and mine should be in the invite, so you're welcome to reach out to Emily or myself, and we'll put you in touch with the right person. Okay. So I think we may be caught up with questions, I hope. Anybody else, please feel free to chime in. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Debbie.
Oh, happy to do it.
All right. Well, if no more questions are coming in, if anyone has any questions after the fact, please feel free to reach out to Emily or myself, And I'm sure Debbie would also take questions. We can point you in her direction.
Of course.
So, okay, well, thank you all so much for joining, and yeah, just let us know how we can help.
All right, thank you. It was great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.